So, welcome to this update, little like off-season, I guess Northern Hemisphere off-season I should say, video, where we have Cyclone Pam in the South Pacific Ocean, which the South Pacific has gone pretty much insane the past few weeks, and really the Southern Hemisphere in general, but that's somewhat typical of this time of year because at this time of year the Southern Hemisphere is at its peak intensity, and therefore has the most storms. Not really peak intensity, but peak activity, and therefore has the most TCs. But Pam has actually proven to be very impressive. Right now, we have an El Nino related MJO pulse going on in the eastern, not eastern, but on the western Pacific, and that is going to send SOI cranking. It's going to cause a westerly wind burst. These were twin cyclones separated each other at birth. These were twins separated from each other at birth. And there's one in the Northern Hemisphere that's currently an inverse in the West Pacific, not the Eastern Pacific. And the other twin is in the Southern Hemisphere. And the other twin is Pam. Yet, quite interestingly, Pam is not the only TC we have to deal with in this part of the world. We also have Cyclone Nathan, which is located like right off the coast of Australia and Queensland, and that was recently declared today that the JFS had shown it for 2 weeks in advance. It wasn't designated until today, and it's actually looking pretty impressive, and it's starting to develop some kind of eye wall, despite the fact by the neighboring and more powerful Cyclone Pam. And so right now the joint isn't too impressed with it, giving around 45 knots. However, this estimate is in agreement with strong and excellent agreement with the CPHC. No, not CPHC. It's in strong, excellent agreement with the Dvorak estimates from SAB and SSD, which yield an intensity of 45 knots. Which yield an intensity estimate of 45 knots, or T3.0. However, Pam is probably the biggest story right now, even though Nathan's a bit of a threat to Australia. As looking very, very impressive as of this hour. This is forecast track from FMS, which is the Regional Meteorological Center for monitoring tropical cyclones in Fiji, and is responsible for the South Pacific. As a result, brings it very close to Vanuatu. I cannot pronounce those. The islands, it brings it pretty close to that. Fortunately, it brings it well away from New Caledonia, and I believe the Solomon Islands are up here, so it should remain well away from them. But the system is likely to be due to the very large size of the cyclone, it is likely to be very powerful by the time it affects this part of actual land, and it's supposed to be large and very powerful by the time it affects this part of the world. Because right now, the latest estimates from the CPHC, and from the CPHC and SAB agree on a 5.09 knot estimate. However, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center has entered in its best track an estimate of 100 knots, which is equivalent to a Category 3 hurricane on the United States-based Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Models have been very, very aggressive on this one for several days, with the European showing a lot of runs in the low 900 millibars, and even a few runs peaking around 890 millibars, while the JFS has been showing runs as low as 859 millibars, and it seems like the majority of runs are sub 880 millibars. By comparison, I believe the most intense tropical cyclone in the South Pacific had a pressure in the 880s. I believe it was attained by Cyclone Zoe in 2002. I don't remember its exact pressure. However, I mean, it's looking pretty healthy at this present time. I mean, it's looking pretty well organized. You can see a little bit of dry air was getting in it. Has been getting in the past. You can see along the south. No, well, I guess you could still call it the southeast quadrant. And the outflow isn't the best along the northeast, which isn't, from our view, the right front quadrant of the cyclone. Now let me show it the upside down one so that you guys can actually. Alright, let me turn it upside down so it actually looks like a northern hemisphere tropical cyclone. Anyhow, Pam is looking pretty likely to attain a very high intensity. And even though you really can't see it here, is starting to pop out. It's starting to pop out right around this area on visible imagery, which I am not showing you on this video. And if trends continue, the system will likely begin to bomb out in about 12 hours, probably by from U.S. time would be overnight, and that would be, if I recall, if my math is correct, daytime or in the evening hours in Australia. And you can see some significant strengthening is likely overnight, as conditions are expected to remain very favorable for at least the next 24, possibly 72 hours. And I'd be very surprised if the system does not make at least a run at Category 5 strength from the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. That's how good the environment is. It's in a very favorable MJO pulse. And that alone is fueling the system. Shear doesn't look like an issue, and sea surface temperatures are very warm, and oceanic key content is fairly high. And you can see the light, medium, gray, not the light, no, the light, medium, is the black. I think it's the, I don't remember what they call it as cloud tops, but it's pretty much the coldest kind CNTCs. And high expectations are likely for reasons already mentioned. And even aside from Pam and Nathan, there are other tropical threats out there. Oops. Oh yeah. And then here, let me turn it. And here is another one. It's Invest 96S, I believe. And it's off the west coast of Australia. Models, once again, have been pretty aggressive with this, showing some kind of tropical cyclone developing over the next several days. Over the past several days. And it's likely going to develop, and as a result, there is a cyclone warning up. As a result, there is a cyclone warning up for parts of Australia, from I believe from part of Western Australia, including Catharana and Port Hedland. This is a pretty sparsely populated region. It's kind of desert. Those are ones who do know my my little crappy EPAC videos that I make. Probably the best comparison I can make towards the EPAC is Baja California in general. This is pretty much one of the few places where desert meets sea. And then in addition, this is another look at Pam. And apparently I do have it visible, and you can see the eye forming right around here. And in addition, this is not the only system out there. There is also Cyclone, what's his name? There's also a Cyclone subtropical storm Carol in the South Atlantic. It's, as you may not know, the South Atlantic now has a naming list as of this year, and now they're actually going to start naming systems. So at this point, the South Atlantic is pretty much a basin. It's the I guess it's the 8th basin worldwide. Even though it's not a very active basin, it does appear to have more tropical cyclone activity than originally estimated. So, even though I'm actually pretty skeptical on the legitimacy of Carl, as there's no agencies give any kind of intensity of the system, and I'm not sure what the evidence there is for the system to be declared a subtropical storm. There are no Dvorak intensity estimates available, so I don't know what the Brazil Weather Service, I forgot its acronym, is basing this off of. This is also the 3rd subtropical or tropical cyclone to form in the South Atlantic this year, and 2nd named one. And now we'll probably wrap up this video, this little Southern Hemisphere video. I'll get to the East Pacific. I'll probably actually do, you know what, daily update videos for Pam. I may eventually touch on my thoughts in a video or two down the road on the upcoming Pacific hurricane season, and or recapping the previous winter, but we'll see. Bye.